Don't go away. Coming up next on Doggie Dilemma, you're going to meet Ella, the dog that's nipping at people's heels.
Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years experience training dogs and people. If you've got a doggy dilemma, Denise can help.
Welcome to another episode of Doggie Dilemmas. Today we're in Troy and we're visiting with Jessica and her dog Ella, who is a 2-year-old Belgian sheepdog herding mix that she adopted from Alaska in October of 2012. So let's talk to Jessica and see what we can do for you. So give me a rundown of the issues. You can do it in priority order or however you want to, but...
Okay, so one thing I've noticed with her is in the home she has like a herding instinct.
Okay.
Where some people will always, she'll always go after their ankle and nip it, and other people she never does it to. So I'm trying to figure out if it's hurting or out of fear or why she does and how to get her to stop. She definitely does it a lot with kids though.
Okay.
And so they, of course, run away and freak out, so that makes her even more energized and worse.
Right.
So hopefully...
Is she making contact?
She usually grabs onto the pant legs.
Okay. So when I go walking, is she going to grab my pant legs or my ankle, do you think?
You should roll your pants down.
Good to know.
Yeah. She does it to me. She when I'm in shorts, she'll still do it. Like if I come down the stairs really quickly, she just gets energized and she'll do it to me. And she doesn't do it to hurt, but she just, I don't know.
So she would grab your bare leg as you're coming down the stairs. Okay.
She just sometimes can't stop, but she sometimes will know. Like if I run around, she'll come after me. And so she'll go grab a toy and shake it crazy. And so she's kind of, like we've been working with her in Alaska. And so hopefully, like she's not as bad as she was, but hopefully we can stop the behavior.
Okay. So that's a fun one.
Yeah.
What else? We got herding, nipping ankles.
Yeah. She's also not as good with some dogs. Up in Alaska, they don't walk dogs on leashes. They'll just be loose or tied up to a house. So I often don't walk her on a leash, and so she gets to go up and greet dogs off leash. But on leash, she just is very protective of me and kind of like snarls or will go after a dog in a different tone than if she and the other dog were off leash.
Okay.
So she definitely needs to work on that.
So she's reactive on leash, but off leash in Alaska, she's never had any problems with any other dogs.
No.
Okay.
And then the other part with dogs is inside the house. I don't know if it's territorial or what, but she won't let other dogs in. I live in an old building, so there are apartments there, and my neighbor has a husky, and her and the husky are fine, and they'll play and get along. But here, I've never seen like another dog that she's been willing to play with.
Okay.
Or even like let in her space.
So do you have family or friends that want to bring dogs here?
We haven't had other people try to bring them here because like outside we have some neighbors' dogs that'll come down sometimes, and so outside when she's hooked up she doesn't always greet them well. And there was one day she had 2 dogs that greeted us, and the other dogs were loose and she was tied, and I just had to hold her because she was just spitting. So I think it's out of fear sometimes when she greets dogs.
Okay.
So she just acts tough.
Okay. And but no fights?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many fights did you say she's had?
Well, I was just with that cattle dog last week, dog sitting, and so there was at least 4 or 5 with that dog.
Okay.
And then in Alaska, there's been with, I think, 2 other dogs. One was a cattle dog again, and then the other one was the husky as they were kind of figuring out their place, I think.
Okay. And any damage during the fights?
Yeah, she had gotten, with the cattle dog in Alaska, she got a tooth from here up to her lid up there. So there's a cut below her eye here. And then with the husky, she had her nose and I think right near her eye again.
Is she better when you're leaving her? Do you want to address anything like that?
Sure. Well, up there, because I was in a routine, she would get to know when I was leaving. At first, though, we have the door handle that swings down, and so the first few days she'd open the door and be in the hallway and just, like, beside herself, like, upset. And there's a high schooler in the building, and she leaves later, so she would come out and, like, calm her down and put her back in, and she'd be fine. But it was, like, whenever I leave, she would try to get out and come with me. So here it's different because it's a different house, and you know, usually when I leave her here, she's with my parents, or I just take her with me because it's summer for me. So it's been different. So she's been socialized out in public a lot more. So her behavior is getting better in some things, but still, sometimes when I leave her with my parents, she'll sit by the door crying, or I don't know. She just is beside herself that I ditched her.
Okay. And are they able to bring her back in and engage her, or?
Well, the last time it happened, she was by the door for an hour, and off and on she'd cry and whimper and just lie there. And so my mom said she had to get a treat, and my parents are in here, and so she went and got a treat and brought her in here, and then she lied down and went to her usual spot.
Okay.
But she didn't just oh, whatever, and walk away. She stayed there.
Right. Okay. So not too bad. Anything else that we should take a look at today?
I think that's it.
And so tell me a little bit about, did you adopt her did you find her? Was she in a shelter?
So I adopted her. There's a woman in Alaska who has a little shelter in the hub, so it's the bigger of the villages, and she gets dogs from all the villages around it. So one of my teachers from the same district I work in had turned her in from the village she was found in.
Oh, okay.
And so then she was at the rescue for a month, and then I adopted her after that. But at the rescue center, she had her, they called her daughter, so one of her own puppies was there, and they were food aggressive with each other, but I've never had her food aggressive with other dogs. So I think it was just because they were both starving in the same place or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
So she did we're sure she had puppies?
Yeah, she definitely did, and she was pregnant when they did the surgery. Is it a hysterectomy? Yeah. So she was on her second batch when they did that.
Okay. All right, so let's bring her in and get to see her. Miss Ella.
Can I let her go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, she's very pretty. Hi, Miss Ella. Look at you. All shiny. I don't know, Belgian sheepdog. What else did you think was in there? Lab or?
Yeah.
Is she like water?
Yeah.
With her long hair, that must be fun.
Yeah.
Is that fun? Okay, so Jessica, does she have any behaviors? Does she sit, lay down, come when called?
She knows sit. She knows come.
Okay.
It depends though what's distracting her, because if we're outside chasing something, we don't know it anymore.
Are you very distractible?
Yeah. She went on a deer chase when my dad was watching her.
Oh, how long did that last for?
A good 20 minutes.
All right, so let's ask her to sit.
Ella, sit. Good girl.
Good. And any lie down?
No, you have to point.
Okay, so go ahead and give it a shot.
Down. Down. All the way. Good girl.
Oh, good. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Good girl.
Good. She's beautifully groomed. Do you brush her? Or yeah?
A couple of times a week.
So where are her toys? You said sometimes.
They're all over there.
Okay, so these are hers.
Yep.
Okay.
Now she's following. She's just sniffing.
I debated whether or not to put the bait bag on. So everybody just needs to come in and wear a bait bag.
There you go. Good
so
sit.
I'm going to ditch this back in the little cooler. And then, does she bark or whine or make a noise?
No, it's very sudden. She's still under the food.
Ella, what are you doing? So, she's not going to do it right now, but what you're saying is that if you just had a friend over and you just walked by, or they just started to walk around, she would potentially go after their legs.
Yeah. She might do it if I leave, but I don't know.
And you haven't been able to identify any, I understand the children aspect of it, but men, women, loud voices.
I keep watching, and so my grandmother was here, they were fine. 2 hours later, they weren't fine. And then my aunt was here, and my aunt had been attacked by a pit bull, so my aunt sometimes was a little more nervous, and she was never fine. As soon as she came in, she was doing it, and then even when my aunt was sitting, she was going for her pant leg in the front, which I've never seen before.
When she was just sitting.
Yeah. So there's some, my parents, my sister, I've never had a problem with her, so it's just hard for me to know who will. Some
Right.
guys are okay, and then some aren't. So I don't know if it comes down to that she's sensing them, or
Right.
you know.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you how to teach her a leave it command, because we can talk forever about why she does it and who she does it to,
Right.
but the bottom line is it seems like you have good skills in recognizing when she's starting to think about doing it,
Yeah.
and that's when you're going to need to start to use the leave it command. And then she needs to be redirected to do something else. So you can say leave it, she can be redirected to a toy. You could say leave it, she can go lay down someplace or be crated.
Okay.
And with the kids, you're a first grade teacher.
Yeah.
So those children come over to visit. And there isn't a child in the world, one, that runs quietly.
Yeah.
They're all flailing and screaming and stuff. They look like wounded prey. So even if you don't have a herding breed, most dogs I run into would be more than happy to chase a child, right? And then it's scary for the child, like you said. Then they ratchet up and they scream a little louder, and the whole thing gets even worse. So if the kids come over, she should be leashed or kenneled.
Okay.
And do you bring that kennel that she's in back to? Okay. Because we don't want her to continue practicing this behavior. The more she practices it, the more you wait and see, oh, is she going to be okay with Uncle Johnny or Aunt Sue or whatever? Oh, if she's not, she gets another practice in, right? So I'm going to tell you to practice sits and downs a lot. I want to want you to do the leave-its a lot, and because I want her to get really good at those.
Yeah.
And for me, it's all about teaching her what we want her to do. If we focus on stopping behavior, then we're automatically working in punishment areas. And I would much rather work in reinforcement areas, show her what we want, than if we have to give her a timeout or do something, she'll at least have somewhat of an idea, oh, that's right, they asked me to leave it and I didn't. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to get the bait bag back out, and I'll start the leave it.
She knows leave it when it's food.
Okay.
And she'll do it forever, but if I leave the room, then leave it disappears.
That's
in
fine.
her mind.
So if you put so show me what leave it looks like to her right now.
Like if I drop food, I'll say leave it, and then she just has to not touch it.
Okay, and then do you pick it up?
Yeah, and she never gets it though.
Okay, good. And did you teach that in any sort of formal way?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think I had done some like on the floor in front of her,
Right.
like leaving it there.
Yep. But then she can go and eat it when you tell her? No.
I
Okay.
never let her have it.
Okay.
Because sometimes, like, if I'm eating a cookie and chocolate falls, I don't ever want her to have it. So that's kind of why I never let her get it.
Okay. All right.
For those instances.
So, well, let's test her. So if you drop anything, she's clearly food motivated. Look at your cute little face. And are you familiar with body blocking?
No.
No? All right, well, we'll try that. We will try that. So let's have you just take these, drop one, and ask her to leave it.
Okay.
And let's see if you just stand over there, and just so she'll get up.
Do you want it over here? Or do you want it?
No, I just want you to drop it, like however you would practice it or
Okay.
something. If I'm not here, so I get to see what you've done with her.
Leave it.
She didn't see it. Sorry.
Ella. Ella. Leave it. Leave it. Nope.
All right, so that needs some work. Good. It'd be a very boring show if we couldn't teach her something.
I want to yell it before I even drop it now.
Go ahead.
Leave it. Leave it.
No. All right, so don't do it anymore. We don't want to leave it right now. I mean, sit, watch it fall, and then go get it.
And we did it just last night with Cheese, too, but she was lying down.
That may be different. All right, so we're just going to start from the beginning.
Okay, sounds good.
And the way I teach leave it is first with scent. So she learns to leave the scent.
Okay.
Then with the sight of the treat, and then with movement.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and we're going to do it all with food first, and then we'll start to generalize the behavior to other things, ultimately to people when they come in. Okay. Does she get into mischief, chew on anything?
Not really.
No. All right. And have you ever used a clicker with her?
No. Sometimes I do the sound with my mouth, though.
All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about that. We'll just start with, I can see you like chicken. So she's doing just what I want her to do. So she knows there's food here. I assume the sort of scarecrow position. And I'm going to wait until she stops pestering this hand. So she's not getting anything. And this is exactly what I would expect. Yes. Yes. Oh, pull on it. Yes. I wanted to make sure she wasn't going to get up and go for it. So now I'm going to wait till she stops staring at it. Yes, good girl. Oh, cheese is melting in my hand.
Oh.
Yes. Did you get it? Yes. All right, so sometimes dogs start to, I want to make sure she doesn't think it's about laying down, so I'm going to just throw it. Go, get it. So she can get up. Yes, good girl. All right, so next step, I'm just going to put my hands on the floor. And I'm going to wait till she takes her hands off my, till she takes her eyes off my hand. If I stare at it, maybe something will happen. Yes. Well, I have to back up a little bit so I can see her. Did you get it? She's moving her eye. Yes. So I'm trying to, so you can't see her over there, but she's moving her eyes. So yes. So I'm going to have to get her eye. Yes, good girl. Get her eye movement because I can't quite get the whole head movement yet. Good girl. So I'm going to do one more step and then I'm going to have you start this.
Okay.
Look, there's stuff in both hands. See that? Yes. 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 So funny that she keeps staring. Yes, good girl. She keeps staring at that hand. All right. So she's not quite ready for this next step, but I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
So now it's going to be the sight of the treat. So I'm going to put this hand on the floor and I'm going to open it so she can see it, and I'm just going to close it when she approaches.
Okay.
And this hand it will still produce the treat. I'm not saying anything yet because I don't really have the behavior that I want. Well, that woke up her senses a little bit. So what I'm waiting for is for her to look, yes, but not move forward. Go ahead. Yes. Yes, good girl. All right. So I don't have much cheese. We can start with that for you. So you're going to start with both treats in both hands.
The scarecrow one?
Yep.
Okay.
And hopefully she'll get up, but we'll see what happens.
Sounds good.
She wags her tail. So show them to her so she knows you've, just in case she didn't. There, now separate them. So, good. So just hang on. So when she stops, you can say yes with this tongue sound if you want.
Now?
Yep.
Yes. Good girl.
Now.
Good girl.
Now.
Good girl.
And just transfer some treats to that hand until you're...
Doesn't matter if she
Oh,
looks at
good.
you.
Treat her for looking at you.
Good
Good.
girl.
Ultimately, we want her to look at you. So anytime she's going to do that. Yes.
girl.
Good. Very nice.
That hand's empty.
Okay, so let me give it... So, sorry, we're down to the chicken. Oh, actually, no.
I have cheese in the fridge, too.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Got all kinds of stuff. All right, so we'll do this. And this time I'm going to have you put your hands on the floor.
The open
Same,
way?
no, same sort of scarecrow.
Oh, okay.
So just separate those out and I'll break up this. And now on the floor. So now watch her eyes. Oh, sorry, that was going to be a distraction.
She's going from one to the other.
Right there. Looks up.
girl.
Good. Yep.
Good girl.
So if she's looking at you, it doesn't matter which hand
Good girl.
Yes, good. So she's looking at you a couple times. Very nice.
Yes, good
Good.
girl.
All right, so now let's do the open hand. Let's open your left hand, so one treat in there,
Okay.
and put that one behind your back so she doesn't even see it. There you go. So if she looks and chooses not to, yep, reinforce her.
Good girl.
Good. Yes,
girl.
good.
Good
Yes,
girl.
good. So she looked up. Did she make eye contact? Good.
Good
Yes.
girl. Almost. Good girl.
Good. Okay, so stop a second. So, if we could ask her, "Hey, Ella, do you know what you're getting reinforced for?"
Yeah.
My guess is she'd say,
No.
"No, not yet." That's okay because she's still working for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she may think it has something to do with downstay because she's been laying down and staying,
Yeah.
but we're going to change that shortly. So the next step, and I'm going to show you all the steps, but you're going to have to take, depending on how often you train her, a day per step or until she does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When you consistently say, "Okay, let's play the game," and she doesn't do anything, she just starts to look at you, then go on to the next step.
Okay.
So I can't say, "Oh, do it 3 times or do it 6 times." It
Yeah.
depends on her, and she's learning pretty quickly.
Does this lead into then, like, when you go to give them a treat, they'll look at you and not the treat? Or is that
No,
totally
this is
different?
is when she's starting to look at someone's pant legs, you're gonna say leave it, and she's gonna look at you
Oh, okay.
or whoever said leave it.
Okay.
If you're walking down the road and she's not fully engaged with the dog, but she's looking at the dog, you're gonna say leave it, and she's gonna look at you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Or if you drop a chicken leg in the kitchen or a cheese fondue or whatever it is, and you say leave it, she's gonna yep, look at you. Okay, so it's all gonna be look at you, look at you. All right, so I'm gonna get down on the floor and
You want this?
Yep. Okay, Ella. So again, I'm sort of pushing her ahead before she's quite ready. Now I'm gonna put the treat on the floor. Hang on, Ella. I have a lot of things going on. And I'm going to either slap my hand on it so she can't get it, or because see how the sight really perks her right up.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can spider web my hand. So again, I'm going to have to wait until she looks away. Yes. And she has some foundation of kind of laying down with you and not, yes, good girl. So this time I'm going to throw the treat for her when she does what she needs to do. Yes, good girl. So I want her to get up. There's definitely a part of her that says, lie down. Yes, good girl. So I want her to get up again. Oh, go get it. Get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost. Yes, good girl.
Persistent.
Yes. So you have to show it to her and then throw it. I'm not worried about the lay down. We'll get rid of that. Yes. So she's looking sort of other places, but I don't want to reinforce it until she looks at me. So I'll do one more and then I'll have you do it. Yes, good girl. So I like that one because she didn't lie down. Yes. she's funny. She's trying to figure it out. Yes. Right, so she looked away. Right, so I can't, training isn't so now she's getting up and kind of staying upright. She's not plopping down and looking at me. So if she's not going to come forward, I'll reinforce that.
Okay.
If she's going to stand there and look away from the treat, then I'll reinforce that. But we slowly or gradually want to sort of fade all that other stuff out and keep her looking at us. But she's beginning to think, what is it that's getting me the treat? Okay. And when it's a new learner, which she is, we have to reinforce her often. If we wait too long, then she'll get bored, or she might not play, or she just won't learn. my guess is your first graders need like a lot of reinforcement, right?
Yeah.
A lot of telling them what you want them to do and praising them when they do that. Because left to their own devices, they're going to get into trouble, right? Just like Ella. Think of her as a first grader. So one on the floor, and then all the other ones in your hand behind your back. So when she looks, toss it.
girl.
Yep. So next time,
Oops.
try to toss it. That's right. She plops right down. Yes, toss it. Good.
Good girl.
So now just pick it up and drop it ever so slightly. Good. Treat her.
Good girl.
And try to toss the next one so she gets up. Go ahead and drop it. And toss it. Good. Whoop. Whoa.
Under the piano.
Toss her another one so she can...
Ella.
Is she going to get that one?
No. She'll get the crumbs.
Whoa. Baseball player. Okay, drop it. Go ahead, drop it. Good. And toss her one. Good. And drop it. Yes, very
girl.
nice.
Just got
Any more?
crumbs.
Okay, good. So go ahead and pick that one up. Great. All right. So, you want me to take that back in my... So those are all the steps to leave it that we'll have to do those over the course of a few days.
Okay.
Ultimately, we're not going to do this yet, but ultimately from being here and dropping it, then we're going to start to stand up and drop it. And if we have to, we'll do some body blocking so she continues to learn. And usually when we start the standing up part, the dog stands up with us and she realizes, oh, it's not about laying down anymore. So
okay.
she will get that. I also think that when you have guests over, because we can't say it's only men, it's only women, she should be leashed so that she doesn't practice. Okay. I don't want her practicing any of the things that you don't want her to do, because the more you test her and say, oh, let's see how she's going to be with, then she does it, then she's like, oh, that worked again for me. And it doesn't sound from anything that you've described that it's vicious or aggressive.
Right.
It just sounds like it's obnoxious. And, it could be painful if she's actually making contact with, now she's going to be working on that piano. Oop, and I didn't close my bag. That would be really exciting. All right, so let's work on the down as well to make that a little bit better.
Okay.
Before we do that, let me ask you a question. With the sit, so stand up and ask her to sit.
Ella, sit.
Good girl. And then go ahead and sit in the chair next to you and ask her to sit.
Ella,
So,
come.
yep, and
Sit. Sit.
And do you have a hand signal for sit?
No. Usually I do my body language.
Okay, so what is that?
I stand in front of her.
Okay. All right, so standing in front of her is the cue to sit.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need that generalized, right? Or what good is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be able to sit here, watch a show, and say sit, and she should be able to sit. Or lay down and stop doing whatever it is you're doing, right? So we need to generalize all that body language of yours so that she understands the word, and we'll give her a hand signal. Okay, so this is going to be fun. You're going to like this, Ella. Oh, look, there's a little piece holding your hand. So we're going to teach her a hand signal and generalize the behavior, okay? So no matter what we're doing, so I'm going to roll one so she gets up. Do you have a hand signal? Or what do you want it to be?
Well, with it, when I have a treat, I usually just
Okay.
raise it.
Sit. Good girl. And she's going to get that initially. So I'm going to stand sideways to her. Sit. Good girl. I'm going to squat. Sit. Good girl. You get the idea? And you can do one facing the wall. Sit. Good girl. So, if you're standing at the counter or something, you want her to sit regardless of what you're doing. And we'll do one more. So go get that so that you get up. So even if you did sit, good girl. So you may have to, or put your leg up or whatever. All right. So here's a handful. I'm going to have you do about 5 of those.
Okay.
And if you need to throw one to get her up, let her see it go. So turn sideways to her and ask her to sit.
Sit.
Good.
Good girl.
And you can use the hand signal.
Yeah, she wasn't sure.
Kneel.
Come. Sit.
Good.
Good girl.
And now do one kneeling.
Sit.
Good, and give it to her.
Good
Nice.
girl.
It's 3. So try maybe one sitting back in the chair just as much as you can. Either way.
Ella, come. Sit.
Good.
Girl.
And do one facing the window. So
Ella,
you can
come.
look and turn a little bit.
Come.
Yep.
Sit.
Very good.
Good girl.
Okay. So the second step is do you need a few more treats?
No, I have some still.
So put some in both hands.
Okay.
You're going to have one in your signal hand and all the others in the other one.
Okay.
So now, because we want to start to fade the food, so we're going to generalize and fade food all at the same time.
Okay.
Now you're going to ask for the sit. Good girl. And you're going to quickly treat with your other hand.
Okay.
And this lure will go away. You can be as dramatic about it as you want. So let's do a few more.
Okay.
Come on, get up.
Ella, come.
Good
Good girl. Sit.
Good.
Good girl.
Yep.
You're trying to lie down.
That's right. Go get it. So do you often do a sit and then a down?
No, she's just hot, so she lies down
Okay.
a lot.
All right. So let's just do one more. Just have her get
Go
up.
get it.
Good. Sort of face sideways to her.
Ella, come.
Yep. And
Sit.
treat with the other
Good
hand.
girl.
Very nice. You got that perfect. All right. So same idea with your lure hand. You seem to point
Yeah.
when you go down?
She doesn't know the word at all.
Nope.
It's usually for the treat.
That's fine.
I
So
don't
treats
even
in.
say it sometimes. I just do it. And she'll sometimes. Good girl.
Okay. But when you asked her without the treat, you pointed. You have to be consistent.
Okay.
Is your hand signal when you don't have food going to be this or this?
Probably this.
Okay, so put food in that hand under here,
Oh, okay.
and then you're just going to point down like that. So
Okay.
we'll have her get up again.
Go get it.
Good. And go
Ella,
ahead.
come. Down. Good girl.
Good.
Do you
So
want
go
me to
ahead.
do the other? I need one more.
Oh, yep.
Do you want me to do like we were doing before?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
certainly do it's called the second step of lure reward, where you still lure, but you treat with the other hand.
Okay.
Because she doesn't really need a lot of luring in order to get into the position.
Go get it. Ella, go get it.
Quick,
You're
get
not
up.
watching.
No.
Ella, come. Good girl. Down.
Good.
Good girl. There's
Yep.
one.
And go ahead and walk away.
Ella, come. Down. Good girl. Did it fall? Did you find it?
Did she get it?
I don't know. She
That's
must have.
So now, I don't know, sit in the chair, but toss one for her so she gets up.
Go get it. I'm not good
She
at
didn't see it.
tossing it. You don't usually get freebies. Down. Good girl.
Good. All right. So she's more than willing to stay down there, but I'm going to show you how to do duration anyway. So
Okay.
and my observation right now is you're still orienting always with her square in front of you. Mm-hmm. So you need to start generalizing that.
Okay.
Just like you are with the down, or she'll only do it the first time you ask her and you're in some other position, she'll be like, "What? Like that's that's not how you asked me to lie down." Okay. So let's ask her to do one more. See
Okay.
if she'll get up and
Go get it. It's right there.
that's right. She got up. So just ask her to lie down.
Down.
Good. And now give her 5
Good girl.
treats. 1, and stand back up, and give her another one.
From over here.
Nope, right with her. Go right to her,
2.
and stand back up. So the treats go away, and then give her 1, and then stand back up, and give her 1, and and give her 1 more, and then use some sort of a release word.
Okay.
Yep, whatever you want that to be. No food after that. She may stay there because, like you said, she likes to lay down when she's hot.
Yeah.
So the down is going to be, you're going to lure and treat with the other hand, and I bet within a day or less, you may not even need food anymore. So
Yeah?
you just keep your hand consistent. Well, you'll see. Or what's going to happen, you're going to do a little train session, so you'll do 3. Down, you've got treats, you'll treat with the other hand, and then on the third one, you're just going to ask without food.
Okay.
But you have to keep your hand the same. That's why I was asking you what you want your signal to be. They're learning sign language, and it's not fair to go from like this to that, or this to that. It's just not quite the same thing. Okay, and the hand signals will always be stronger than the verbal commands because dogs are masters at reading body language. All right. All right. So let's just review before we see her with a dog.
Okay. Do you want these back?
Sure. You're going to prevent her from practicing all these behaviors, and how are you going to do that?
On a leash.
Yes.
Or in her crate.
Yes. Yep. Perfect.
Now, do you mean, so if someone new comes in and I have her on a leash, should I be stepping on it or holding it
Either.
and not let her go to them, or like let her greet them and then when they walk, just make sure she doesn't go after them?
Yes.
Okay.
She can certainly greet them because she seems to be very friendly in that area. And then as they are walking, I'd probably start to feed her.
Okay.
So you need something to have some yummy treats, and the hard biscuits are okay, but there's a lot of chewing, and
Yeah.
so as they walk, feed her. I mean,
Okay.
we can certainly do practice sessions together about that. So let's just
Okay.
do one. I'll walk. I'll give you back some. And she's, my guess is she's not going to be very interested, but that's fine. It's more to get you the skills of what you need to do.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, let's see. You might have to get up. Are you gonna move up? All right, so I'll walk from here to the piano,
Okay.
and you're gonna feed
You
her.
want me to leash her for this?
No.
Okay. And just feed her
Yep,
so she doesn't watch you?
right. So something else to do is, oh, really? You're gonna feed me every time somebody walks? You gotta do it.
Got it?
Is that a rerun?
You
Okay, ready?
done?
You can't really run. Good, feed her. Okay, I'm gonna run again. Good. And one more.
Good girl.
Good, perfect. All right.
Okay.
So she should be on leash, right? She's knows that there's food happening here,
Yeah.
and something you've got a handful in your hand. So when other people are here, leash her, and we can do setups. Okay, walk past or run through and feed her, stop. So running people are now going to say, oh, what does Jessica have, or what does your mother have, or whatever. It should mostly come from you, so that it's going to be beneficial to you when you go back to Alaska.
Yeah.
All right. You're very nice. Yes, you are. I thought you were going to be some big hooligan. Questions so far?
No, I'm good so far.
So you're going to work on the leave it. You're
Yep.
going to work on your sits and your downs. And managing, as well as the science that's involved, is classical conditioning. When we try to make an association between two events. So if you pick up the leash, does she get excited? Does that mean walk
Yeah.
for her? I mean, especially around here. So that's associative learning. It's also called emotional learning. So leash predicts walks. I'm happy to see the leash come out. When my dogs see the bait bag come out, of course they're like, oh, we're going to work, and they get all excited. Car keys equal rides. If your dog likes rides, they'll get excited about that. You can also have associations made that are negative. So sometimes say a dog is very car sick, car keys predict car sick. So now you pick up the car keys and the dog runs and hides.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So you can have associations in positive or negative areas. What we want to do, she doesn't have a negative association in my opinion, although I haven't seen her, but it doesn't sound like it, about this nipping and hurting thing. But we're still going to work on changing the emotion that she might have by people move, feed, and when leave it is a little stronger, then we'll be able to give her something else to do. Leave it and then go lay down.
Okay.
Good. Can she have raw bones? Does she get stomach upsets or?
Up there she's had some raw bones before.
Okay. So if you had a lot of people, she could be, and she's good with people if she has a raw bone, or does she get defensive about it?
No.
No. Okay. So wherever you want, probably not with the kids, but any other adults that were around, you could certainly do that. All right. So Miss Ella, should we see you with a dog? Would you like to do that next?
Yeah, that's fine.
You asked about working her brain some more. Do you want to talk about that here as well? So brain toys. So these are good. This is too small.
Oh, really?
Yep. This is a good one, but you said she just doesn't like working that hard. Okay. And This is not bad, but I would probably cut one of those things off right here so that it can actually come out, right, because it's a little bit too hard to get out. What do you think, Ella?
Good stuff.
So this would be the size Kong that I would have for her. And did you put peanut butter in her food, or what'd you put in there?
Well, when I go in Alaska, when I leave for the day, this would have peanut butter and her food, but her food's the small stuff, so I'd stick a treat or so to make it harder.
Yep.
And then I would also hide her food.
Good.
And then I'd leave, and that keeps her busy like 15, 20 minutes.
All right, so this will keep her busy longer.
Yeah.
And have you started to freeze them?
Yeah, sometimes I would do that.
Okay.
Some peanut butter she doesn't like, though, like the natural peanut butter. Is that common?
No, get her the crap that she likes. She probably wants the sugar in it or something.
Oh.
So I would, yep, and you could do cream cheese, you can do wet dog
really?
food, yep, anything that's not going to upset her stomach. And if you freeze it, then leave this opening empty.
Okay.
So when you take it out of the freezer, you can put something fresh right there.
Oh,
or leave a biscuit or something sticking out so that it's frozen like that. And the wet stuff.
Okay.
So she'll have the instant gratification of eating whatever you've left poking out, and the instant gratification of getting whatever is not frozen, and then she'll work on the frozen stuff.
Okay.
This is, it's just, they're everlasting treat balls is sort of the main one, but these discs are edible.
Okay.
And I sometimes soak it initially, so I'll turn this upside down in some water, and then she'll learn to eat this. And then this is sort of similar. This might be the same company, just a different toy, right? And I would put a bully stick through the center.
What's a bully stick?
A bully stick is a long, like a tendon that the dogs can eat.
Oh, okay.
So she might pull it through. That would be all right. You can also stuff this. And again, I would probably trim a couple of those little things off so that the food would come out more easily.
Okay.
And you can put 2 discs in here.
Oh,
It comes with 1, but you can have 2. And then you can get replaceable ones so that she can lick and chew on this as well. And that's probably a good size for her. Do I have a smaller one? Or a smaller one? Either one would probably be fine. Look at you. And then you're familiar with raw bones, right? And then you can re-stuff these. So
you can with peanut butter?
Same thing. Peanut butter, cream cheese, wet dog food.
Oh, okay.
You can freeze them, and I always try to leave something sticking out.
Okay.
A milk bone, biscuit, or whatever. Are you really that hot, Ella? This is a Flossie. Are you familiar with those?
No.
So this is similar to a bully stick, but it probably won't last too long for her because it's like I usually use these with puppies. But certainly providing her with chew things while you're gone as well would be fine. It's not necessarily going to exercise her brain, exercise her jaws. Right. Another big bully stick. Oh, this everlasting treat ball. This is a lot of fun. And have you seen the Tug-a-Jug?
No.
So if this one's too hard, she may not like this one right away either. Oh, she can take that. I don't want to eat the plastic off. It's like, wow, this is a great show. So you can put her kibble in here.
Okay.
The whole thing, as much as you want.
And this is all empty?
Yep, it's all
Oh,
empty.
okay.
And then it will come out of here.
Oh.
So some dogs learn to work the rope. If you look at my website under Brain Toys, under the Doggie Dilemma episodes, Thor picks it up and tips it like this and gets the food out. It's a little harder, so I would start her with some of the easier ones so she understands the concept of getting the food out. But Tug-a-Jug is certainly an option. And this is one of my favorites. I don't have one that's out of a wrapper. And the reason is there's so much you can do with this. So there's different size openings, right? This one's really big, and these are a little bit smaller. So I usually smother peanut butter or cream cheese, again, whatever you want. And then I put biscuits in all of these, right?
Like
so there's
sticking out?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. Like a biscuit, like right you have on the table, just sticking out. And I put stuff in here too. So you can put food, you can put a variety of sized treats because they'll come out at different times if they're different sizes. Yep. And you can also take those bully sticks, which are straight, and you can put it all the way through, a nice long one. So you can actually get a bully stick sticking out of each end, and if you're really creative, then you can put bully stick this way, so you'll get 4 prongs sticking out. So she'll have a field day chewing on that, and then getting to the inside stuff.
Oh, okay.
If you show first graders, I don't know, if you sort of did this with the first graders, you know, as long as there's no peanut butter allergies, and sort of told them what you were doing, I bet they would really like kids are usually really good at this.
Yeah.
They just pack them full and let's do this and let's do that. We used to do it at summer camp at the Humane Society, have them stuff brain toys because they got into it so much. So those are some that I would recommend for her. She clearly likes that one as well.
Yeah. She loves to chew.
And does she like this antler thing over here?
Yeah, she's been chewing that a lot.
Okay, maybe it's just because this one's new. But the more, like, it's a variety. Do you find with your first graders that you have to rotate toys or games or different things?
Yeah.
Right? Or they
get sick of it.
Right, same thing with her. So that might be great for today, but tomorrow it won't be so interesting. So
Yeah.
you can pick it up. The toy that always comes out from under the couch is usually the most exciting one because it's the one that they haven't seen the longest. So you could certainly rotate all of these things through here.
That makes
Over
sense.
time, then, like, these will be interesting in and of themselves because she's learned to chew on them and good stuff comes out. And it may offer, I don't think there's anything else in there. It may offer her, oh, I'm going to go pick up that. Like you said, sometimes she's already starting to redirect a little bit. Oh, I can pick up a toy instead of chasing after people. So it'll give you potentially one more thing to work on.
All right.
All right, so we've stimulated her brain. We've do the sits and the downs and the leave-its. Any questions before we, do you want to see her with, like, how to work with her around another dog?
Yeah, and if I need help knowing, like, her body language, because sometimes she barks, but I don't know if it's, like, an aggressive bark or just, like, a hello kind of thing.
Okay.
So just knowing, like, if you could tell me when, like, you think she's going to have problems versus, like, she's okay kind of thing, too.
And what do you walk her on?
I use a gentle lead on the
Okay,
dogs.
perfect. All right, then we're not going to change that. We're going to keep using that. The dogs this weekend, the golden, was he a male or a female?
They were both female.
They were. Okay, well, that takes care of that. Sometimes dogs are better with the opposite gender. But the golden she was great with, and the cattle dog she was not.
Yeah. And the cattle dog in Alaska was a boy.
All right.
Yeah.
And the husky?
Is a boy.
Okay. But they got along, both those dogs?
But no, the cattle dog, she didn't.
She didn't. Okay.
No.
All right, so let's go outside, and we will we'll do a quick little dog assessment. I've got a stuffed dog with me. We'll let her race up or charge up and do whatever she wants to do that, and then we'll talk about what I see, and you can tell me, yep, that's what she does or doesn't do. She'll be off leash, so she might be better, and then we can do some work around Thor. Okay. All right, great. So let's head outside. Take my treat bag with me.
Oh, come. Ready?
Here she comes. So, not the worst high. Do you know it's not a dog? So, fairly direct approach. Her tail was up, her ears were up. She was laser beamed on the dog. I specifically point it with the head away so that it's not a confrontation to her immediately. But there was no pausing or waiting. So, she's not the freight train greeter like I've seen from dogs, but she's pretty forward when she greets a dog. So, and I think she thinks that it's not real. No, you're nice. We've had a very nice dog, I know. Some dogs would just kill this thing.
Oh.
All right, so let's do the gentle leader. And,
I left it on the porch.
okay, so go grab that. We'll wait here. You're going to wait with me. I know. Down. Oh, look, we're outside. That's a whole other ball game, isn't it? Good girl. Good girl.
This is not her favorite thing. It itches my nose.
We can make it her favorite thing with chicken.
Good girl.
Good. All right, so let's go out on the front of the house, and I'll grab Thor, and then we'll do some pass-by work.
Okay.
And I'll put this girl away.
Come on.
is. Good girl. Okay, let's walk. Good boy. Oop. Are you hot? Good girl. So is this about what you would expect, Jessica?
I would like her to be like that. If it's a crazy dog, she acts crazy, but if it's a calm, she's usually
Okay, so
calm.
come a little closer.
Come on, Thor. Come on. He keeps going to the middle.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to get too close to her. Yeah, there it is. So that set her off.
Good boy.
So trot by
I
again.
have no treats for you. I'm sorry. Good boy, Thor. Good boy.
Go ahead, trot by again.
Come on, Thor.
One more time. Good.
Good boy.
Good boy. Okay, so go just sort of loop him around the porch and we'll switch dogs.
Okay.
So I'll coach, like I'm gonna have you do it now without him and then I'll get Thor and move him. So the movement clearly set her off. Like
Okay.
she hit the end of the leash before I even knew what happened.
Oh.
But it was
Just
short.
because he was running?
Yep, just because he was running. So, oh, good. Now we got a chipmunk coming across the road.
Yeah, chipmunks are bad.
Now, come here. All right, so we'll body block.
Oh, it's going right by Thor.
He won't care. He's the least prey-driven dog I've ever had. All right, so chipmunks require body blocking, which is standing right in front of her, and you're going to back her up with your body. So I want you to hold the leash, if you can, like this. Put your thumb right through there.
Okay.
Yep, and then so when you're holding both leash straps like that, you get a lot of, I don't know, leverage or security.
Oh, okay.
Right, she just won't be able to pull it out of your hand. Okay,
Oh,
and I'm going to have you start to use a clicker.
Okay.
So this is going to go there. You can do that, okay? And you're going to have to wear this. So I'll hold this again so you can see if that's the right size. And sometimes I just leave the bag open so that I can grab the treats out.
Oh, okay. Is it just magnet? Oh, there it goes.
Yep. So I work with leash and clicker in left hand and feeding with the right. And you're going to have a handful and constantly feed her, particularly when I start to run.
Okay.
So if she looks, you're going to click and treat, if she looks at him or if she looks at you.
Okay.
Okay, either one, you're going to click and treat her for.
So if she looks at Thor,
Yep,
treat her.
immediately.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't want her to get into the stare mode. I
Uh-huh.
just want her, and I'm just going to walk by it first. I'm not going to run.
Okay. Let me see. It was through that way?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, perfect. And it can be, once she stands up, come here, I'll stand up. It won't be too short. Yeah, that's perfect.
Good
All
girl.
Right. Hey, good boy. So click and treat, she's looking at him.
Good
And you can
girl.
start walking just on the sidewalk. Yep, click and treat, she's looking at you.
That was delayed.
Again, keep going. So walk and click and treat. Yep, keep going, yep. Now, yep, good.
Girl. Good
Good.
girl. Good girl.
Good, click and treat.
Good girl.
Yes, she's looking at you, clicker.
Good
Good.
girl.
And we'll turn around. Yep, so she's looking.
Good girl.
Look too long. As soon as she looks, I want you clicking.
Oh, okay.
Yep, keep walking.
Come on.
Click. Yes.
Good girl.
Click. Because she's
Good
looking
girl.
at you. Yep.
Good girl.
He's going to come on the grass a little bit. Click. Yep.
Good girl.
So it's constant. Yep, clicker. Information giving her. Yep, again.
Good girl. Keep walking.
Yep, you can.
Good girl. Good girl.
Can you see when her ears go up and she gets a little too forward and focused, like right there? Now she's back with you. So so don't let her get too forward and focused with him. So say
Okay.
her name, get her back
Ella.
to you. Yes. Now let's ask her for a sit.
Sit.
Make sure she's, yes, good,
Good girl.
And go ahead a few steps. Yep, click her for looking at you, nice.
Good girl.
Yes.
Ella. No.
Yep, body block,
No.
walk into her, walk into her. Towards her, towards her, towards her, towards her, yes. body blocker. So she's getting ready to charge at him. So she's not with you. Yep. A little bit more.
Keep going.
There. All right, she sits.
Good
That's
girl.
all right. So go ahead, walk past us. Give her information. Click and treat.
What are you doing?
Yep. Good. And ask her for a sit. Ella, sit.
Good girl.
And now come into the shade and ask her for a down.
Like over here.
No, just on the sidewalk, just in the shade, not in the sun.
Down. Good girl.
Good. Nope. Ask her to lie down again.
Down.
Great.
Good
Do a little bit
girl.
of duration if you can. Give her another one.
Ella.
Good.
girl.
Another one.
Good girl.
Good. All right, so I want you to keep feeding her. She can get up if you want. Just release her while I put him back.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about what you just did.
Okay.
Okay, come on, Thor, because I don't want to tie him to in the sun. Come here. Jessica, how did that feel working Thor and then working Ella?
It was good because he just walked by her and ignored her behavior, and then she kind of got to see him, and then when she started to have problems, I at least knew that he would be by himself and not have like a confrontation or a fight go down. So it was more easier for me to be there and just like focus on her.
Right. Good. Good. Okay, so Ella, we didn't push it with Thor, but I needed to see how she was going to behave, and she definitely gets a little focused
Yeah.
fairly quickly. Like if she's allowed to stare too long, then she wants to go move it. And the motion clearly set her off, very quickly. I wasn't even really prepared for it because I didn't think it was that much motion, but for her it was enough. So what I want you to do is to continue with all the behaviors we talked about inside, the sit, the down, the leave it, generalizing those. When you take her out for a walk, you're going to have treats in your pocket and you're going to ask her to sit, not every 3 steps, but every once in a while make sure that she's with you, particularly if you feel like mentally you're losing her,
Yeah.
okay? And I want you to ask her to lie down as well.
Okay.
Once we get the leave it up and running and really solid where I want it to be, then we're going to start to use it for dogs.
Okay.
And we're going to have to adjust how far or how close they are to her because that's going to be one of the things that sets her off. And when she's in stare, about ready to pounce mode, I don't know if leave it will actually call her off the dog at this point. She's not ferocious, she's not aggressive, she's at this point sort of what I would say is slightly reactive because she's not barking or vocalizing, at least not right now. And we'll start with calm, slow, meandering dogs like Thor so that we can teach her the skills that we want and we can teach you the skills that you want. Yeah. Then we'll gradually bring more small dogs or faster dogs or dogs that are going to potentially set her off as something. So just there, she just sat down on her own.
Good
All right.
girl.
So I definitely, there's clearly a lot of hope for her. We can make a lot of improvements in her behavior for you so that, you can enjoy a good walk, you can have people over. There's going to be, it's not going to be fast. You're going to have to manage and prevent these behaviors from happening for a period of time. It could be a month, it could be a year. It takes a while to change a dog's behavior. She's been doing what she's been doing for at least 2 years. Yeah. So she's going to have at least 2 years of not doing it and doing something different to really get those new neuro pathways, really ingrained in her brain.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Any other questions?
No, that sounds good.
Great. All right. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Doggie Dilemmas. I look forward to seeing you next week.
If you have a doggy dilemma, Denise can help. Visit www.denisemazzola.com for more information. Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer tested through the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. The association requires recertification every 3 years with a minimum of 30 hours of continuing education. She has been training dogs and working with families for over 20 years.